Life doesn't stop when the workday ends. On True HR Beyond the Office, Shannon Clark Johnston tackles topics that affect our lives in and out of the workplace, with conversations on mental health, reinvention, self-empowerment, and more. We share actionable insights to inspire meaningful growth. Join us for candid insights and guidance to help you build resilience, create balance, and thrive with confidence in all areas of your life.
Today's guest knows firsthand what it means to make food choices under pressure. Between health challenges, busy schedules, and feeding a family, Ellen DiVietro is a certified health coach and independent ambassador with the nation's original in-home food tasting company. Her passion for smart, simple eating started as a personal mission, navigating her own health struggles and her family's severe allergies. Now celebrating 25 years in the food industry, Ellen's built a career around empowering busy women to take control of their health through realistic, stress-free cooking. She's helped countless families eat better, save money, and actually enjoy their evenings again. And today, she's here to share some of her go-to tips for eating well, no matter how hectic life gets. Welcome, Ellen.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so great.
I'm so excited for you to be here because I struggle with this. And, when we were talking about you coming on, I'm like, not just come on, but like, could you help me, please? Because, the different challenges to making healthy meals or eating healthy, it sort of changes too as your life changes. So,
Definitely.
Now for me, my issue is cooking for someone, just one person, versus just, a few months ago or when my son comes home from college, trying to feed myself and something that a 6-foot-tall, 19-year-old young man wants to eat. So I feel like everyone has challenges. They might be slightly different, but everybody is dealing with this. So we're so excited to have you here. But what I first wanted to know, because we all struggle with this, but not all of us make our own business out of this, kind of what was it that drove you to take these challenges that everyone has and kind of make it your mission?
It's kind of interesting when I think of how, have you ever heard the phrase, your mess becomes your message, becomes your mission?
Yes.
So I feel like that's kind of what happened. Me being even a stay-at-home mom 25 years ago, my son was born with severe allergies. And that kind of sparked some things in me because I was a full-time career retail buyer for a major department store. And I couldn't continue to work 15, 16-hour days and get allergies figured out. So my husband said, so quit. So I quit my job, and there I was, a stay-at-home mom for about 2 weeks, and I realized it was way too hard a job. I needed to get away from my family a bit. I wanted to get out and socialize because I feel like that end of things kind of went by the wayside, and I needed to get my son figured out. So like all this started, I got invited to a food tasting get-together at someone's house. And I tasted the food, and I was like, well, this is really good. And then, it was mentioned about doing it as a business or doing it as, a way to get out of the house and socialize and maybe earn some money.
But did you actually cook at that point? Like, were you into it at all, or was it just something you'd always kind of put on the back burner?
Well, I always had to cook because, you're married, you need to cook for your family, you need to prepare food. But it was always like chaotic.
Was it a passion?
It wasn't a passion. It was just like, okay, we needed to cook, we needed to eat.
Right.
But I enjoyed always like entertaining, having people over and preparing some things.
Yeah.
So what I realized was, okay, you can have people over, you can entertain, you can prepare food, and you can prepare a lot of stuff quickly. And that's what I started doing, just, thinking of preparing quickly and how easy things could be. And then I just started realizing that, empowering other people and showing other people how they can prepare quick, simple meals, it just kind of just blossomed because I enjoyed food. I enjoyed, cooking and playing in the kitchen. Like even when I worked full time, my therapy was when I had a bad day, I would come home and I'd be in the kitchen cooking.
See, this is an amazing thing to me. And I've met people like this before, and you are fascinating. You're just like people who can fall asleep on planes to me. This is like a skill or some kind of secret power that not everybody has. So for me, cooking would be the most stressful thought. Like, I don't even want to think about it. For you, it was a stress reliever.
Yeah. It was a stress reliever. And then when I realized that I was empowering people to be able to do this themselves, and then I just started, I guess, attracting more people that were stressed about mealtime, or when I was going through things with getting my son's allergies figured out, I guess I knew something about food because people were like gravitated to me even in the supermarket. They would just start asking me questions, and I would stand there and go, do I look like I know something about food?
Yeah.
So it was just
So you must.
very funny. So I guess I knew something. And that's what kind of drove me later on to get a health coach certification, because I said, people are asking me questions all the time. Let me learn a little more to guide them better. So just seeing that, being able to show people how they can do the quick, simple meals. Like one of my clients, a bunch of years ago, she had reached out to me and just messaged me and said, "Hi, Ellen. I don't know if you remember me. We met a while ago, and I'm sick of takeout, fast food, and these extra pounds I'm carrying around. Can you help me?" Okay. And I said, okay.
I think so. This was how you really got into coaching people on it, or helping people one-on-one.
It just
evolved.
It just kind of evolved. Like even doing like meal prep classes, I started doing them like 15 years ago. And then I started focusing more and more on the healthier aspect of it, because me, myself, had, I was pre-diabetic, and the doctor wanted to put me on medication. And I said, I'm pre-diabetic, I'll see you in 12 weeks.
To see what you could do to really, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about it then. When someone approaches you and says, like that call you got, or someone says, I just don't have the time to do this. I need to and want to eat healthy, but it's not possible for me. I'm too busy, because you were there. So what are some, I know everyone's different, and there are things like whether it's, diabetes, something like that, or allergies, everyone's different, but there must be some universal truths about it, some things that you would tell people. What do you say to people who say, I don't have any time to do this?
Well, how much time does it take to go and sit in a car waiting in a line to pick up your food that you ordered? The time that you spend going through the drive-through to do the takeout and fast food, you could be cooking.
You could be cooking, and it would take a similar amount of time, you're saying?
Or less.
Or less.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's about showing people how that works and what that means.
And it's where their value's at. For some people, it's just, I don't have time, and I don't want to make the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they don't want to make the time, well, then nothing that you say is going to change anything.
Right, because we do make time for what we really want.
What's important.
Yeah, we do.
So it's deciding what's important for you to make that change. If you want to eat healthier, well, why is that important to you?
What's your why for doing it? Because if you don't have a really strong why, yeah.
Is your health important to you?
Yeah.
Like with me, it was more like, okay, my doctor said I was pre-diabetic, and for me it was like, I'm not going on medication. Both my parents, their parents, my two older sisters and my younger brother were all diabetic. I said, that's not what I want. So my reason
you had a strong
was
reason.
Big enough. So in those 12 weeks, when I told the doctor, I'll see you in 12 weeks, I made one little change, and I just gave up sugar. Only the word sugar. That was all I did.
Ellen, you gave up sugar.
But I gave up sugar. But it wasn't everything that contained different kinds of sugar. It was more like the word sugar. I was like, let me start somewhere. So that's like something that I would say to people. If somebody says to me, I'm pre-diabetic, or I'm concerned that I might be, or my doctor told me I need to cut out sugar, oh my God, I'm going to die because I have to give up sugar. And I just let them know that it can be a little on the simpler side than they may think.
Well, and I think you're getting at a few, I would say, major kind of concerns people have when you say, oh, it's really easy, or you say things like, I just cut out sugar, or it doesn't take long to cook a meal. So let's talk about let's drill down. So if someone says to you, I don't want to cut out sugar, I'm not pre-diabetic, and I don't want to take forever with meals. Like, you're telling me that I can go cook meals, but I don't even know what to cook. Like, what is it that people have to how do they have to start to think to do this? What are some of the things they need to do if they say, I do have a strong why, I really want to do this, but I don't even know where to begin. Where do they start?
Where to start? Well, I ended up, I guess that's the reason why I ended up pulling together a collection of seasonings and creating an ebook that I have as a gift with purchase with those seasonings, because we did pull together quick, simple, easy to prepare recipes that are healthy. And in that ebook, there's also other health tips and tips for eating out, because eating out is a big thing for people.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, actually, because that's another thing that sort of, I think, would immediately be someone's concern. Well, you're going to, give me this plan, and I'm never going to be able to go out and enjoy a meal with my friends again. So talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Well, eating out is not my favorite thing to do on the face of the earth.
It's not.
It's not my favorite thing to do.
Because
for me, I have a lot of dietary choices. I know what's going to upset my stomach. I know what's going to help my face break out. I know what's not going to make me feel good. So for me, it's been over 15 years of things being second nature for me, but that's not where everybody's at.
Right.
So, when there are people that tell me now, yes, they want to eat healthier, yes, they want to make some changes. And I'm also a very firm believer in small changes, right? Like, start small. Don't overhaul your whole life. Don't overhaul your entire kitchen, because you're going to get frustrated.
Right. Like too many things at once. Don't do too many things at once. Yes.
Start somewhere with making those changes. So what I do is, and please don't laugh at me, when I go out to eat, I tell the waiter or waitress or server that I have food allergies.
Yeah.
And they go, okay. So
even though you don't?
Well, you know what? I look at these things as allergies because I'm going to have reactions to them.
But saying it in that way helps them to but that's not actually good advice, because it makes them pay, I think, more attention.
Yeah, and it's also easy for them to understand.
Yes.
If I say I don't like
Right.
I don't like this and I don't like that, they're going to go, well, then, oh, well.
It's not going to register.
But when you say you have a food allergy, it's like, okay, and the pen and paper comes out, and they pay attention. So when I tell them, I'm allergic to dairy, I'm allergic to gluten.
It's really that you don't want those things, but by telling them in that way, I think that's an excellent tip.
Because I will be sick. I will be sick from eating them. But if you're looking to eat healthy, and you want to go out to eat, just tell the server you have food allergies. Yeah. And what is it that you don't want to be eating, right? It's every restaurant now has a gluten-free menu.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's a little easier these days, but I love that tip that you're giving people, that if it's something that you really just either you don't want or doesn't sit right with you, it's not necessarily classified as an official allergy, but by telling the food server that, they're going to pay more attention, they're going to write it down, they're going to make sure that you get what you need. I know a lot of people worry about that if they say, like, I don't want my chicken cooked in, I don't know, oil
canola
or fat
oil.
or canola oil, right? So but when you say it as a preference, I think it hits different than if you say it's an allergy.
I'm allergic to canola oil.
Yes.
If you could say that, I'm allergic to canola oil. What kind of oil do you use for cooking? When I've gone away on trips, to Cancun or wherever, out of the country, I have an allergy card typed up in Spanish.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Because like an allergy card, I used to have to do all these things for my son.
Right.
When he traveled with school, when he traveled with marching band, right? He needed to have these things in English, of course, going to Disney and whatever. But I ended up having these cards typed up for myself in Spanish, and every single restaurant I went in, I had the chef come. They brought the chef out to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I would be sitting there eating, the amazing shrimp and filet mignon when everybody else was having like burgers.
Right, because they were making something special. I think I love that. I love that tip. That's a great tip. Well, and that's a common problem. So eating out, I think it's what you're saying is speak up about what it is you want and what you need when you go out. And I would imagine, preparing, like you said, maybe nowadays we can look at menus online before we go, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I always do that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Even if I'm going to, let's say, a holiday party of some kind, and I know where we're going to be, or I know that the food is already determined, what you're going to end up having, I will reach out to the organizer of the event, or I'll call the restaurant myself to say, hey, I have some food allergies. Can I talk with you about what's going in the food?
Yeah. And also when you bring your own dish, I think that can be helpful too, right?
Yeah, but if I'm going to like a major event or something,
that you're not. Yeah.
I'm not going to bring my own dish, but I'm going to arrange something ahead of time. Like there was one event we went to that the server came out and brought me this like amazing green salad with salmon on it, and everybody else
Everyone's
at my
like,
table is looking at me like going, I didn't see they had salmon up there. They're not serving salmon. I was like, well, they are for me.
Well, and I think you're getting at what is probably the biggest issue, I'm going to guess, for people living a healthier lifestyle in terms of cooking for themselves, and that's preparation. Thinking about things beforehand. Thinking whether it's about actual meal prep or going to an event, eating out. Wait, hold on. Let me think about this. So many people were so strapped for time. We don't do that. Can you talk a little bit about that and like ways in which you can make sure that you're planning, make sure that you're preparing for potential challenges?
Okay. Well, first of all, it's knowing where you're going to be.
Yeah.
And I'm very big on planning ahead and meal prepping and having things in the freezer. So I will buy, chicken or different kinds of like London broil, and I will season it up different ways and have it in my freezer. So I know I can open my freezer and know what something is going to be when it's cooked. So that takes a lot of indecision out of things. So whether you're living by yourself, okay, or living with other people, knowing what's in your freezer, knowing what's there, takes a lot of the indecision out of cooking. Yeah. Like this one client I had who called me, right, or messaged me and said, I'm sick of takeout fast food and the extra pounds I'm carrying around. We got together and we prepped entrees for her and put it in the freezer. So all she had to do was pull things out, defrost, and cook.
Almost like it's a frozen meal that she purchased, but she actually made it, and now she knows what's in it.
She knew exactly what was in it and what it was going to be when it was done. So at the end of a year's time with her, practicing and doing this and really getting the hang of it, she doesn't need me anymore. And that's what I love. It's like, don't need me all the time. So let me, educate them and empower them. And at the end of a year, she messaged me and she goes, you're not going to believe this. She says, I'm down 24 pounds this year.
Wow.
I've saved over $1,500 on my lunches, and I'm forever grateful.
Wow.
So these are things that, I love to hear from people.
That's fantastic. Well, let's break that down a little too, because you say food prep, and obviously, and again, there's tons of information online these days, some good, some bad. And a lot of people do food prep on Sundays, and there's all this meat everywhere. And even that to me feels very overwhelming. So how do you help people through that process? What does it look like if I was to say, help me understand, not even that you have to cook it with me, but like, where do I start with meal prep? Because that feels like, oh, not only do I not want to cook, now you're going to tell me to cook for 7 days at one time. That feels like, whoa.
Well, first of all, you're not cooking for 7 days at one time, thank heavens, because I would never do that. And, some people, they do say that meal prep is, a super stressful thing, and it's crazy. And I've gotten to the point where I do monthly meal prep on Zoom with people, so they can get seasonings from me ahead of time. I get them their recipes ahead of time. They have their grocery list, and we do 5 meals or we do 3 meals, like 3 meals in 30 minutes. What's
realistic for them?
Yeah, because some people have even said to me, I used to do 10 meals with people at one time in real life.
Wow.
Okay, groups of people in real life. We would meet at a room in a church or somebody's house, and we would prep, and I say prep 10 meals, but it would be taking your protein, adding your seasonings to it, some oil, smushing it together, and bringing it home and putting it in the freezer.
Yeah.
And we used to do 10 meals at a time.
Wow.
And then, thanks to COVID, we ended up doing 5 meals at a time on Zoom. And then I was told that for people that have never meal prepped in any which way before, that 5 meals was even too stressful to do at once.
I'm sitting here like, I don't know about that.
Right? So this is why I'm learning too. Like 10 meals. I used to have people doing that with me all the time. And then 5 meals, and that seemed to be okay, because for me it's okay. And then people were telling me that 5 is too many.
Yeah.
So, okay, start small. Get a couple of recipes, get some recipes, whether it's from me, whether it's from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Find some simple.
Well, and also, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to be clear. When you're doing this, is the idea, I really want to get granular, is the idea to say, okay, let's say I said, well, let's make 3 meals. Would we get like a bunch of chicken or like a bunch of one main, if you're a meat eater, and then that's like going to turn into 3 meals? Is that the ease of it? Are we getting a lot of different things, or like just kind of how do you usually approach that?
So every month I have like different meals that we're doing.
Yeah.
So even if it's, getting a pound and a half of chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm saying a pound and a half of chicken could be for, 3 people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So if you're by yourself, then you're going to divide that up in smaller portions, or you're going to keep it all together, and you're going to end up on your own time cooking it up at once, and then having it for a couple of dinners and lunch. Mm-hmm. So that same thing, let's just say a savory grilled chicken recipe, that you could end up putting the chicken in a freezer bag or whatever you want to freeze things in, and put your seasonings in it. And I always say smush it in the bag, or punch it. But if
Okay.
you're going to punch it, don't have rings on, because that could be bad if you're punching a plastic bag.
Good point.
So you're going to smush it, and then you're going to freeze it flat, and you freeze it flat, getting all the air out of it. And this way it freezes quick. It's going to defrost quick because it's flat. Mm-hmm. And then when you cook that, whether it's on the grill or stovetop, then that savory grilled chicken could turn into a hot dish that you're going to serve with steamed veggies.
Right.
It could turn into
Like fajitas or something.
fajitas.
Yeah.
It could turn into, cold chicken breast that you're going to put on top of a salad. Mm-hmm. So it has different uses.
Yeah, I like that because that's less intimidating, and that's why I wanted you to break it down, because it feels like 3 full meals. But what you're trying to do is take sort of one main ingredient, I imagine most of the time anyway, and turn it into some different things, whether it's through seasonings or it's just kind of ideas. And I feel like, and I'll just talk from my perspective, I would need to walk through it with you. Like I would just want to like actually know what and then probably to your point earlier, people get used to it, they get in their own habit, and then they can do it themselves. But they have to see like it's possible, right? Yeah, because to me, I'm liking what you're saying. I'm liking the chicken and the bags and the freezing and making multiple meals, but I probably would want to go because I'm not creative. I think that's also a lot of I can't stand thinking about it, because I get stuck. I have like the same things on repeat, which I think a lot of people do that. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that? I know you mentioned spices, which I think is probably a really good point, because it can churn things into different kinds of dishes and give you the variety. But how do you make sure that you're not getting bored, but at the same time you're not making things so complicated for people that they don't want to do it?
I try and keep things simple, and one of the things that we have with the food company, there's different meal kits that we've pulled together. Like I have my own that I've done that totally has the recipes that are, the free of dairy, the free of all grains, and the free of added sugar. Yeah. For somebody to look eating like totally healthier. But then there's other kits that my company has pulled together. So I'm going to start using those kits and just telling my clients, get this kit, get the groceries that are on the grocery list that comes with the kit, and let's get together and do some of the meals. Mm-hmm. So there's no such thing as boredom, because we're always doing different meals and different things.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I have one of my clients who, since last March, has been doing meal prep with me on Zoom every single solitary month. He also gets to the point where he'll call me from the supermarket, or he'll call
911.
me, basically 911 Ellen on his phone. If he's going somewhere, he went away for a weekend with a group of guys, and he said, "Okay, I'm bringing my slow cooker, and I'm going to make this chicken dish, and I'm going to do this." And I was like, "Great."
Wow, is he single?
No.
this guy's bringing his slow cooker on his trip and to cook healthy. I'm impressed.
God. It was just so wonderful to see.
That's great. That's inspiring. Yeah. I mean, look, I think, well, what I'm hearing you saying too is when we started to talk about cooking for one, it's really, if you're doing meal prep like that, it's just that you're going to just portion it out for one versus 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. So that's really helpful as well. I think that there's a lot of excuses people have when it comes to this, and I've already mentioned quite a few. What are some of the major things you hear from people when they're resistant to this, or in addition to what I've already said? What are some things people will say?
Well, they'll either ignore me. Those that choose to pay attention to me. No, sometimes it's the 5 meals is too stressful.
Yeah.
So then I say, okay, well, let's do 3. And then if they don't show up to do the 3, then it's, okay, there's more to this, then that's going on. And I'm going to use the word fix. I cannot fix everybody. I can't totally get them past things. But if somebody wants to and is willing to just make those small changes and start somewhere with either eating healthier or doing things to be healthier, I'm going to use even drinking water.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a biggie for people because when you wake up in the morning, your body is as dehydrated as if you sat on a plane for 5 hours and did not drink anything.
Really?
And would you ever do that? You would never sit on a plane for 5 hours and not drink. So your body needs water. And, getting up in the morning and drinking some water or sipping some water, putting lemon juice in it, putting something in it so it's not just straight water flooding your body, but just putting something in it and start your body off with that in the morning. Warm water, not cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, warm is better.
Warmed up or just room temperature?
Just room temperature.
Room temperature water. Yeah, I don't like a real cold water. I usually prefer that room temperature. It goes down more quickly in my mind anyway.
Yeah.
That's great. No, that's great. Do you ever find yourself almost like moving into therapist territory with people sometimes because they're sharing with you the reasons that they're stressed, or they're sharing with you what, is keeping them from eating healthier?
I do end up having conversations with people. And, yes, I'm a certified health coach, and there were times when I was thinking of going into life coaching.
And then you stopped.
As a career.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be doing life coaching as a one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
Like, I like doing things a lot of times with groups.
Yeah.
And having conversation, which is why I love doing like my food tasting get-togethers. Because I'm with a bunch of people and I get to listen to what's going on with them.
Right.
And then if I could say something directed to that one person that's also going to impact other people that are there in the vicinity, then I love that too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not a one-on-one coach for the most part. I like being more the one-to-many.
It's like a group coaching
where
vibe.
I can,
yeah. And I think people might open up even more as we're doing something and using our hands. Probably it's like when you're outside walking, you sort of have better talks, so you probably do learn a lot. Question I had about meal prep too. How do you see that as different or better than some of these? I mean, there's a million meal prep services that people can buy and order, and they seem to vary on coming fully ready to your door and just you put it in the microwave, or you have to have some ownership of it and actually make. What's your take on those in comparison to doing it yourself?
The first thing I'm going to say is when you do things yourself, you know what's in it. You know exactly what's in it. Things that, with those other companies, let's say you have kids at home. How are you empowering your kids and teaching your kids how to cook or where the food comes from? It's like the kids would say, oh, dinner's here, and they'll open their front door and there it is. Whereas when you take your kids to the supermarket with you or the farmer's markets with you, you're showing your kids more. Or if you have your own garden at home, you're showing your kids more of...
Now you're getting crazy, Ellen.
Well, I'm just saying, My husband used to have a little garden in the backyard.
Yeah,
and
I think it's great.
And when my son used to go outside, we'd send him outside with a bowl to like pick tomatoes, and he would come in with an empty bowl.
Yeah.
And we would say, "What happened to the tomatoes?" And he goes, "They were really good." But,
so teaching them to appreciate.
But teaching your kids, teaching the younger generation where food comes from. Also, when I've talked with people and they tell me, "Oh, I have the meal kit delivery company that I use," and I say, "That's great. How many nights a week are you doing that for dinners?" And they would say, "Oh, we do that for 3 nights." And I was like, "Well, what do you do the other 4?" And they're like, "Well, we go out to eat, or it's breakfast for dinner, or it's fending for ourselves."
So when that meal isn't there, they kind of are going
But
off.
it's kind of costly in a lot of respects to do that every night of the week.
Yes.
And so anything that I empower people to do, it's a lot less expensive than the meal kit delivery companies. And now you can even order your groceries and have your groceries delivered. So the excuse of I don't have time to go grocery shopping kind of goes wayside, because you can have your groceries sent to your door.
I also find when I order my groceries online, it helps with the impulse purchases, and it helps me plan things out better because you're not actually in the store. But no, that's really good. It's funny. I'll make a confession. I do order DoorDash more than I should, and I recently connected it to different credit cards, so I happen to be able to. It's more visible to me. And I just got the first, the monthly bill for that particular card, and I was in shock of how much money I spent on DoorDash.
Okay, tell me.
Well, I don't even want to admit to it. And I'll say some of it was for my son, but I think when we're eating out like that, or we're ordering DoorDash like that, it doesn't feel like a lot of money at the time, right? And then we go to the store and we go, "Oh my gosh, this is so expensive." But when you look at it compared to eating out, it's crazy. I mean, first of all, with DoorDash or any of these food, services like that, there are fees and there are things that are attached to it. But today, as we all know, going out is like getting so expensive. It feels like. I was just shocked. It was really. I encourage anyone who orders DoorDash, if you really want, isolate it and look at those charges every month, because it's right on your phone. It's so easy. And you think, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad." But this has been great. This is great advice. If you could leave the listeners with 2 tips, what would those be? 2 tips about eating healthier, how to get started eating healthier, anything you want to share.
One thing I'm going to say is start drinking water. Oh, look at you.
I didn't even know you were going to say that.
Seriously, start drinking water. And, if you're going to start eating healthy, I'm going to say the first thing to do is to decide that you are going to.
What's your reason for doing it, right?
Yeah. It's like just know why you want to be doing it. Is it you want to look better in your bathing suit for the summer? Do you have a wedding coming up that you want to fit into a dress that you haven't fit into in a while? Whatever it's going to be, just make the decision to do it and start small. Like I said before, like don't overhaul your entire life, but start somewhere. And I know you said 1 or 2 things, but I'm going to keep going for the moment.
Go for
because just think seriously about what is your toughest meal of the day.
Toughest meal of the day.
What's your toughest meal of the day? Is it that you get up in the morning and you have to have your bagel, lox, and cream cheese, or your dry cereal, whatever it is that is your toughest meal? Is breakfast the toughest? Do you skip breakfast? Because breakfast is really important to have. Do you skip lunch? Do you find yourself eating dinner at 9 o'clock at night and then going to bed at 10? So when you're straight on what your toughest meal of the day is, then you can tackle that one meal. And yes, of course, you can call me and you can talk to me about it if you want to. But the toughest meal of the day, start there.
Start there.
Because if you're going to start saying, okay, I'm going to redo everything that I'm doing throughout the entire day, that's probably grounds for failure.
Yeah, it's just taking on too much. And I like that idea of thinking of what's the toughest meal of your day and why. Yeah, just one meal. I love that. Well, thank you. If someone wants to eat healthier and wants to talk to you about it, where can they get in touch with you?
They can call me. They can text me.
Okay. Do you want to give out that information? You want to give them your website or?
Sure. Well, my phone number is probably the simplest. It is 845-893-7567.
Okay.
You can text. You can call. I do answer calls. But please text me and let me know where you met me. Because this way I know you're not spamming. So yeah, the simplest way is
that's
just
the easiest way, just to directly reach out, and they would be asking for coaching, so like a health coach type of a situation.
Just say, hey Ellen, can I talk to you for a few minutes?
Okay, great. Well, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. I think it's really practical, helpful information for people that kind of just don't know where to start with healthy eating. So I really appreciate your time.
And so many times we just make things too complicated. And
yes.
I like to keep things
guilty of that.
Simple.
Simple. We don't have to have a garden immediately. We'll work up to having a garden. All right. Thank you so much, Ellen.
Garden's not necessary. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay. Take care. We're all done, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to True HR Beyond the Office. We hope today's episode inspired new ways for you to find fulfillment and purpose in your personal and professional life. If you found value in our conversation, let's keep it going. Follow us on social media and visit us at ShannonClarkJohnston.com to explore free tools, resources, and more about our speaking, coaching, and consulting services.